Welcome back to the channel. Season is officially over. Might say so. This game was like watching a David Attenborough documentary about a snail's funeral. This was an utterly disgrace, according to my opinion. And we are going to do the player rating to start with, and then I'm going to bring in my panel. But this is my view, my assessment. And if I look at my blank piece of paper, there's a lot of red lines across it. So big up to everyone that made it so far. We had all hopes to say that we will win five in a bounce. But I had a little bit of a bad feeling in my tummy today to say that Fulham, even if they haven't, their away record hasn't been that great, to be honest, still to come at Old Trafford and to boss the first half, to boss the second half, string passes, looking crisp, sharp, and we, on the other hand, looked like, I don't know, it was a snowfest. It was it was a disgrace. I don't know what I was watching, to be honest. I just don't know what I was watching. I don't think until we woke up until, like, the dying 85, 86 minutes at the end of the day. It was horrible. What were we doing? What was the plan? We couldn't even hold on to the ball. We couldn't even string passes along, right? It was just hoofball, hoofball long balls to Marcus Rashford that didn't even had. I think he had one shot on target. Nothing. We offered absolutely nothing. I'd say like Goldbridge. Bloody disgrace. Bloody disgrace. Anyway, welcome back to MUFC Realist TV. I'm sorry. Welcome back to the therapy session. How you doing? Absolutely gutted, to be honest, right? It is what it is. It's a season full of injuries. Like, what can you do? You have one striker, Rasmus Højlund, out. And as soon as he's out, we see that we are toothless up front, right? Rashford's no striker. Forsen was a youngster, introduced his debut. I don't know if he had a good game or not. I didn't notice him much, to be honest. Garnacho huffed and puffed. He tried in the first half. At least he tried. But the midfield was just like, I don't know, Casemiro off his races, slow, lethargic. Kobe Maino, what can Kobe Maino do? Like, you can't burn the kid down to the ground. At the end of the day, it was the right call to sub him out, you know. But where do we go from here? Yeah. First half, Onana saves a brilliant penalty. I mean, not a penalty, but a shot from Pereira, 38 minutes. That's a great save. That was kind of, I don't know, it was like they would look toothless, like, but they were still dominating the first half. And then we had one shot on target from Diego Dalot. I think it was, that was okay. We came out from second half thinking, okay, here we go. Do a little bit of substitutions. Rain started to fall down on Old Trafford. You can hear the frustration from the crowd because this meant so much to get those golden 3 points. But no, slow start. We get in the second half. We do get a collision between Casemiro and what was his name? Can't remember his name. Casemiro goes out, knocked down to the floor, and in comes Ericsson and Scott McTominay. Weird substitution, I would say. Weird substitution. That didn't gel. That didn't gel at all. I mean, I was hoping like a little bit of a magical moment from, at least hold on to the ball now with Ericsson. Scott McTominay, hide and seek, wasn't our save at it today. I was doing a match preview to say, what? I'm not going to be negative. It is what it is, guys. It's just like I had so high hopes for this game, right? But at the end of the day, reality hits you, right? How can you bloody win four in a bounce away from top teams and Villa, invite Fulham, that is so shit record away, sitting like, on almost at 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th on the league, to come and dominate you at your home turf? I don't know, man. You talk to me. Talk to me, guys, because I'm lost for words. I just don't know what to say anymore. It is shambolical. Anyway, this is going to be a short and sweet player rating, and then we will definitely introduce the panel. Reggie, how you doing? This is Ten Hag's final season, what you must say, I think. Never seen such a boring game. It was embarrassing. It was so boring. I almost fell asleep, and match-going fans was texting me on WhatsApp. It was a bore fest. It was a snore fest. Johnsonson, well, that was poor. Yeah, I agree with you, buddy. I agree. Definitely. My player ratings are in the website. Yeah, we will go over that too. It ain't gonna be pretty. It ain't gonna be pretty. 90% of this squad needs to go. Danny, today was a testament of what do you do when you have two key players injured, right? We're talking about your top goal scorer. We're talking about your left back position. This was a testament to see what are these players made of. I mean, tell me what you saw in the first half because I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything. I didn't see a fight. I didn't see any grit. I didn't see any determination. It had to be them to score 1-0. 1-0 in the 64th minute from Bassi. And by the way, the set pieces that they took, they tried it 4 or 5 times, same combination. And we finally fell for the trap. And we led him to take 2 touches and score. And Rashford was kind of sleeping there as well. I don't know, man. John Johnson, what are you saying? No doubt the media will focus on Onana giving another pass to Bruno and Rashford. Even he was should not name turn on them, which yeah, I know Pereira. Utterly shite pair of where Linda, welcome to the therapy session. Ah God, my head is gone, people. My head is gone. I was so full of hope and why are you doing this to us, guys? We need a complete clear out. 100%. We do. These players don't deserve another chance under a new manager. Erik Ten Hag must stay and the players must go, especially Rashford. Had enough of his antics. I, I didn't see anything what Rashford did today. Did he had one shot on target. We came a little bit to life when we actually gave a chance to, you know, Amad Diallo. Where was our midfield? So many questions we need to ask. Jarlim, I mean, it took us 25 minutes before we got our first chance in the first half. It took us 20 minutes to start producing chances in the second. We were at home with 75,000 people in the stadium watching. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. I feel you. Feeling police, you're most welcome because there's a lot of hurt feelings here. I hear you. Kenneth Hogarth, what are you saying? Back to square one, Mick. How many times do we have to go to square one? You know, when you were a child, I don't know what you call the game, but when you hop, skip, and hop, like you throw the stone and you hop, 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 and take one step back. It's been the whole season like this, you know. Did we get too overexcited by forward and bounce? The warning signals was there. I'm backing the squad. Yeah, I'm due, like but at the end of the day, this shows how poorly structured we were today, and the tactics was not there. The in-game management was poor, substitutions, everything there, everything there. I'm going to go straight to the player ratings, guys. I'm not going to waste the time because I have a beautiful panel waiting in the background. Andre Onana, mate, what could he have done? Um, I don't know. Onana, everyone gets a 5 for me. I give 5 for Onana. Yeah, you guys gave him a 4. Brilliant. Onana, you can see 6. Danny B says 5. Victor Lindelof, why the hell did we start Lindelof? Why? Why? I mean, I must say that with that back four, we never got off the blocks. We were stuck. It was like we were playing with cement. I'm sorry. Danny B saying Lindelof 2. I don't know. I 4 for me, man. 4. Yep, you're almost on par there. 4.5. Harry Maguire got his goal. Almost played centre forward. Um, he was part of the defense that didn't go forward. Um, Yeah, still, I got to give him a 6 after all. Yeah, 6.8 is the total score today. Rafael Varane. Um, yeah, I see. Maguire, you agree with Maguire 6. Don't forget this is the most expensive squad ever out to trash. I totally agree. Varane, you say 6. Yeah. Maguire, I agree. 5.8, what you guys are giving total score to it today. Diego Dalot, I think he had a decent game. He tried. He didn't really get on. I'm sorry, I'm giving everyone 5, average 4. You guys getting 5.3 is the overall score. Casemiro, absolutely lethargic today, slow off the blocks. The midfield didn't work. He did a head collision with Reed. They took him off, and that was probably for the better. Sorry, 5 for me. You guys give him a 4. I totally agree. I totally agree. Now, also, Ivo Bosic, I agree with you. Why did Maguire not take off 4 of their team to end up stopping the goal? And you remember Maguire almost had a decisive header on the set piece, so I think Maguire deserved a better score. Um, so for me, it's going to be hard to pick a man of the match. But if you look at Casemiro, what you're saying, yeah, 4, yes, I agree. Casemiro 4, yes, you agree. Kobe Mano, youngster, you can't play Kobe Mano week in and week up. You would burn him to the ground. And it was fair play to take him out, but I don't know. You can't burn Kobe out. I'm not going to be harsh on him, but I think he was one of our better midfielders. I can see that, Yali is giving him 5, 5.5. What you, Danny, saying, I'm not going to be harsh because I thought he was one of our better midfielders. I'm going to give him a 6. You guys gave him a 4, so total score 4.4. It's a little bit harsh. I understand you're angry, guys. Totally understand. Bruno Fernandes, you're supposed to be a captain. Where were you today? Yeah, I see you, Stephen Welsh. I see you, Stephen. You also agree with the 6 there, mate. Bruno Fernandes, I can't recall what you did. For me, this is a captain's moment to take the scruff by the to take the game by the scruff of the neck. Lead the first half, lead the second half, lead the midfield. I didn't see any string of passes coming through. I mean, at least when we played Fulham last time, we needed a savior miracle, and that was Bruno, but not today. You guys are giving him a 0. I don't ever seen anyone saying Lillis is Bruno 0. He basically say he's the captain and had no presence at all. 3, 4. Yeah, you guys go with 4. Fair assessment. Now, the debutant, Omar Forson, he was whispered that he's going to start today. Debutant. He tried nervous. I'm not going to be harsh on him. First game, debutant got subbed off in the 60th minute, something 64. Man, I don't know. 5, 6. I mean, at the end of the day, Forsen, I think he was a 5. It's a solid debut, but it's a 5 is an average. You guys give him a 4, so it's a 4.3 in average. Rashford, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Rashford. This season has been horrendous for Rashford. And tell me something that Rashford did in this game. Guys, help me. Kenneth, I see you agree with Force and 5, but got 0, you said, Rashford. Paramount says 0 to Rashford. I've never given anyone a 0. This is embarrassing. Embarrassing performance. I'm going to be real. I'm going to cut Rashford to 2. You guys give him 4. Total score 1.8. What are we supposed to do up front? We have 0 strikers, 0 goals. Rashford on top. I say you never start Rashford in the middle. It doesn't work. And especially when you play that system. You didn't even adopt Ten Hag to actually, change the system with Fulham did. So I'm sorry, I'm giving you a very low score because it's a calamity of, what do you call it? collective score over the season. Maguire had more dribbles than Rashford, 100%. What you're saying, it's laughable. Maynard told us Rashford is not a number nine. He still doesn't listen. True that. Reggie, we stuck with Rashford. Nobody will buy him. God. How about Garnacho? I think at least Garnacho offered you something. He tried in the first half. Still, I mean, he had a shot on target. He had a few. I don't know, man. Ganache was a five for me too. Like put Hugo. Yeah, I say I agree. At least as a striker, Ganache five, Ganache five, Ganache five. Yeah, I agree with you. Ganache five. Nobody deserves a high score today. Scott McTominay didn't offer anything. I didn't see much of him coming out as a subs. Lily said, "You are so angry." Listen, I'm trying to hold my face. I'm bloody pissed off too, man. Really. You just bottle our chances for top four, right? Villa, I think. What did Villa do today? I think Villa won today. I haven't really checked the scores. Let me check the scores. What is the Premier League scores today? I think Villa won. Yeah, comfortably. Yeah, 4-2 Villa. 4-2. They sailed away, and we are playing bloody City next game. I'm dreading for that game. Um, Scott McTominay, what you saying? Three. Skelter, it was a waste outside. Once his lifetime wonder goals. Yalaman mean Scotty should have passed. Then he took a shot. He didn't do much. So also four. Yeah, I agree with you. As a substitute, you give you four. Yeah, you agree. 4.4. Christian Eriksen hasn't played for a while. I kind of agree, but Ten Hag did. You need to grab hold of that midfield, create a little bit of creativity. Christian Eriksen came to life, I would say, in the 80th minute. So for me, Christian Eriksen, I give him a 5, to be honest. Let me see what you guys are saying. It's going to be a quick one because I have panel waiting for. Jesus, yeah. Amad Diallo, a guy we've been waiting to see. I see, like, you know what? I give Amad Diallo a good score today. Amad Diallo got his chance, and Amad Diallo, he showed what we're missing on the right hand side. But he didn't play many minutes. Still, I give him a 6. 4. Guys, you're all negative. You're all negative. And finally, Ten Hag. Yeah, Danny B, you agree that, yeah, Diallo was 6. I agree, Diallo 6, but there's so many negativities here. Ahmad was not good, and the minute he was on, but he came on so very late. Yeah, true. Eric Ten Hag, sorry, man. What can you have done? This was your moment from the press conference to say, you know, we got to use our rotating squad. So I got to give him, like, at least for trying to put on the youth on the bench. Ahmad was there. Forson was given minutes. But at the end of the day, coming Old Trafford, this is 10 losses right now. You got it wrong, 10. Slow off the blocks. At Old Trafford, we should attack. We invited them to eat our biscuits, drink our tea, and leave Old Trafford with a 2-1 in the bag. So they stole our PlayStation and everything. Everton had 2, what Kenneth is saying. Everton had 4 today. 3, what you guys saying. Ten Hag was 0. Baltimore 10. Yeah, that's trolling. I'm sorry, I got to pull the trigger here on Ten Hag. A 4 for me. Yeah, ended up on 5, 5.4. I don't know. I have no man of the match today. Don't have any man of the match. Let me know who your man of the match is. It's got to go for me in that case. I can't choose anyone. There was shit anyway, but it's got to go to the goal scorer. It's got to go to Harry Maguire at the end of the day, I guess. He had a few chances. Okay, I give it to Harry Maguire because he scored a goal, and I'm pissed off as hell. Let me see. Let me see what you guys are saying. I'm going to submit this. Oh, your man of the match is Kobe Mano. I was wrong. I was wrong. Anyway, big up to all of you. Let me know what you're thinking. I'm going to go to the main studio, invite some guests in. So big up to you, Mark. How you doing, Mark?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm all right, time to get rid of the emotions. I think, yeah, difficult watch today. Very, very poor all over the pitch. And I think, you mentioned Shaw, or at least Hoyland. I think Shaw, Hoyland, and Martinez, and the whole team is very dysfunctional. We've had so many shots against us. A lot of people sort of going for Onana, not in the comments here. But it's not really his fault. Against Fulham today, we
Yeah.
had 17 shots. Luton had 22, Villa had 23, West Ham 22, Wolves 16, Newport 17. That's a huge amount, but you can't blame that on him. That is because of the defensive
Nah,
frailties,
man.
and I think that's
Can
really
you
the
increase
issue.
your volume a bit? Your volume. People say
Yeah,
you. There you
is that
go.
is that better? A bit
Yeah, it's
closer,
better.
bit
Your
closer.
volume was low.
Yeah, I was a bit too far away, probably. Yeah, really disappointing. The problem is, guys, we've got to remember. Obviously, we're getting carried away again. Obviously, because of the love of our club, we've had 4 wins on the bounce, but you know, it's not really taken away the fact that we're in a poor position. There's lots of changeover going on.
Yeah.
Ten Hag is having a poor season. I know a lot of people are calling for Ten Hag to go, but I don't believe he should. I think he needs to be given a bit more time. He did miraculous last season. We're now getting the good people and the right structure in place that will enable him to do a better job. His player profile, um, is not been great, but he's made some good signings as well. And yeah, it's been a really tough day, hasn't it? Just very lethargic on the pitch. Fulham were first to every ball, and we didn't have anything. I thought we had maybe sort of. Let me just check my
Yeah,
thing.
it's okay. Your volume is a little bit low. I agree. I can
Yeah.
hardly hear you as well.
How is? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's got the right one.
Shout a little bit higher.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you
Okay,
now.
I'll just shout to you guys. Yeah, so it's I can't remember what I was saying. They were first to everything. We seemed to lose it a bit when Casemiro went down. We played obviously 12 minutes, I think it was in the first half. We were looking a bit more threatening. You were right about Garnacho. Looked a little bit more threatening. And he was kind of our best player in the first half for sure. Second half, we had the 12 minutes at the very end, almost getting carried away again, thinking, oh, it could be our time. We've seen it so many times before, getting that late sort of goal. And unfortunately, we got caught on the counter. Ericsson got turned, probably should have taken a man out.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say, really. It's very, very difficult. It's been a really tough day, but sometimes you need to kind of have a little bit of a rock up the arse to realise where we still are.
Oh, rock in the ass. Jarvis, how you doing?
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
Well,
Yeah,
what a game.
a
What a
rock,
game.
a rock in the ass, right?
A rocket in the
Yeah,
ass.
it was. It was. It felt like it, a rocket in the ass. But I got to give it to Fulham. They had a good game plan. Marcus Silva put up the team in a great way. They sat down in the mid block. They didn't press much. Uh, but we don't have the quality on our team to put them under pressure. We had they were just waiting for us. Kind of similar like a Bournemouth game when Iraola from put up the mid block and they were just waiting for us to lose the ball, and then they took the transition and tried to counter us again and again. So we had warnings in the first half. We had a lot of warnings,
Yeah, we
but
did.
they were a little bit imprecise going forward. Andreas Pereira, Iwobi, a lot of them didn't have the perfect pass in key moments. So we got away with it. Second half, we come out on the field. We don't look like we are prepared. It was 8-8 chance creation after first half, and midway into the second half, I think it was 6-0 to Fulham in chance creation. So we had nothing. And Ten Hag tried, for once he was proactive. He tried to make some subs early,
Yeah.
but he didn't succeed again with his in-game management.
Nope.
I think the biggest poorest decision was putting Garnacho on the left for me, because
Yeah.
that was what our only output going forward was Garnacho on the right.
Yeah.
He was starting to get Castagne really shaky at the moment, but suddenly he switched him over and Bruno on the right. And then again, Garnacho struggled really because he didn't have any backup from Lindelof actually, and it
Nope.
took too slow. So when he got the ball, it was too late. It was never a transition opportunity because Dallo was a little bit quicker. So for me, I think that was a big mistake putting Garnacho on the left. But
I
you know,
agree.
in retrospect, it's easy for me to sit here and criticize Ten Hag. But in the heat of the moment, yeah, he tried. So I give him that.
So Ivo Bosic coming in here to say, "What's the excuse today? We're missing a 20-year-old kid who's carrying us," which is kind of reality, isn't it? But Mark, do you agree what Jarvis was saying there? Because I was a little bit critical to see Ganacho on the left
Mhm.
with no service. I mean, basically, as I stated in the beginning, that back four immediately were stuck in quicksand. We were never going up the halfway pitch at all. Like so, there was no Ganacho, and I agree with you saying that Jarvis. Ganacho was starting to, solidify his position on the
Mhm.
right, getting used to it, and all of a sudden you have to shift him to the left to accommodate Forson on the right. That didn't work.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Can you hear me a bit better now? I've raised it.
Turn
Yeah,
up the
good.
volume.
Yeah, yeah. So I had a feeling that Foursome was going to start. I think I mentioned it in the group chat the other day. I'm surprised that we didn't sort of play him in that kind of number nine role. I know he's not a number nine, but he plays in the middle of the team. And as you mentioned, Garnacho on that right hand side, he had kind of cemented a place there. Rashford, we know, is always better on the left hand side, and it was very dysfunctional. I saw a couple of points to my earlier points about the defence and Onana. What I was trying to get at was when you don't have a solid back four, which we haven't for the whole season, it's very difficult to build the relationships. And you were talking earlier about on that left hand side, we had Lindelof doesn't play on the left hand side. He used to play
Mm.
right back for Benfica. How is he going to have that relationship with Garnacho at that point? It makes it very,
Hmm.
very difficult, makes it very, very disjointed. Personally, for me, I would have played Dallo on the left and I would have had Lindelof on the right at
Mm.
worst case. It was just a very disjointed team today with obviously just no build up of relationships. We've got injuries again all of a sudden with Casemiro as well now. It just makes it very, very difficult. Um, yeah, but I agree. It's very difficult. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? We can
Yeah.
sit here and say what we should have done, what would have made it different. But unfortunately, we've lost 3 points, and you can't change anything. But in retrospect, yeah, I would have played. But I thought Garnacho was one of our better players actually. But
Yeah.
I would have put Forson in the middle or Hugo. Good shout. I spoke about him a few weeks ago on the show and would have brought him in. But Rashford, as we know, he's been looking better in the last few weeks. It's easy for us to jump on him today, but of course, we've seen he's not that number nine that we need, and we should have played him on the left hand side. So that would mean Garnacho on the right, Forson up top, or someone else up top. But he had his hands tied. Rasmus is injured. We've been talking about firepower and the lack of strikers this season, and that just showed today. It was a difficult watch.
Yeah. Joris,
Yeah.
this is poor planning from the club. You loan, basically, you're so broke, you have to loan out or sell a lot of players. And when push comes to shove, you don't have anyone you can play.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when we look at the striker position in Colombia, that we couldn't even get rid of, Anthony Martial, and he's out. And yeah, so
Yeah. Yeah.
it
You're
is what
right.
it is. I mean, are you fearing now going to Etihad in
Yeah.
this current setting? Because what we saw today, that cannot go to Etihad. They cannot go to Etihad. We will
Yeah, it
be
will be a different game. You know, it's always 11 against 11. The pitch size is
true.
the same. So as long as we meet up, we stand a chance. But I- I'm not optimistic going up against City. You know, they are miles ahead of us when it comes the squad and the squad depth and their tactics and games and everything. So
Hmm.
especially when we have a thin squad, I'm not trying to make excuses, but it makes a huge impact that Shaw is out, that Martinez is out, that Hoylund is out. We struggle under these conditions. We don't have a second striker, and that's a huge problem. We don't have a left-sided centre back who can play out from the back. We don't have a left back at the moment. We're out of left backs. It tells a lot about the size of our squad, and this is on the board. It's mismanagement for 11 years, and this is the result. So we can sit there
Hmm.
and piss and moan about it, but we know the result is it didn't happen this week. And I said it when people were getting giddy last week, that we are just one injury away
Yeah, yeah,
from the
yeah.
top four to go away. So this is the result. Now we see Hoyland is out. Okay, we don't have a striker. What do we expect? We created okay with chances. I think we had 20 shots, 9 on goal, and something that should be sufficient to
Sufficient.
to score enough goal to win the game. But we didn't, and we struggle going forward. And I think if Fulham had the better chances, they had the
Hmm.
bigger chances, and at the end of the day, I think they won the game deserved.
Yeah. But still, I am deeply disappointed because at the end of the day, I had bad feelings in my stomach. I did have bad feelings, and you guys were wondering, what's wrong, Mick? And I said, well, I don't really feel well, and you should never. Footballing gods do exist, you know, and especially when you look back, we had amazing run of form, a run of games where we scored good goals, four in a bounce. We played well against Villa. We clinched it just against over Luton, and now what's more hurting for me is that we invite a Fulham that's have a shocking away record. The win record in the past 5 games is abysmal, and they
Mm.
come and get a result. And for me, that's just an abomination of the entire season what we are so far. And all I want to do is just to finish the 11 games what's left to go and just finish strong and just go again in the summer, get rid of everything, start fresh, because mentally it's draining, guys. It's very, very difficult, isn't it? Right.
Mm. Yeah, Mark can have this.
Yeah, it is tough. And the thing is, w- we use this analogy all the time, but you are just papering over the cracks. We knew these issues were there before. We started to build a momentum, started to believe again, but it doesn't take away the fact that those issues are deep rooted and still there. This is my problem with getting rid of Ten Hag. Really, I feel that he does have some tactical nous. I do think he is a good manager. I would have been absolutely furious if he'd gone to Man City after Pep Guardiola, which was very much touted.
Mm.
And I think he's got a lot more to give. We can't, on one hand, say that he's had a fantastic season last season. There was a change of mentality, brought some new kind of resilience in, had a bit more about him, and obviously got us a trophy and did very well
Well,
in the league. And then on the other hand, talk about how poor. He has been poor. I get that, but the squad hasn't changed that much. It hasn't been improved really. We've had a number of injuries, and this is why we talked previously about having 4 managers since Ferguson, and 4 managers worth of players that aren't Ten Hags, that weren't Mourinho's, that weren't Van Hal's. Do you know what I mean? And it makes it very, very difficult. And we keep talking every summer about getting rid of the deadwood, which we've been
Mm.
really poor with doing. If we can't do that, we have no good foundation to continue. So it is poor. I understand the annoyance with Ten Hag and the players, but my biggest thing today is the bigger senior players that should be
yeah.
Yeah.
taking the game by the scruff of the neck. And those 2 players, in my eyes, I love Rashford. I do think that it's not a coincidence that he's been a very good player over the years, has had a number of goals, a lot of goals last season, and then all of a sudden has been poor. I don't believe in that. But today, he didn't show any leadership. Bruno
Nothing.
didn't show any leadership, and
Nothing.
that's, as soon as Stu says this all the time, you can look at the manager. He will set the ground rules. We know how he wants to play, but as soon as you cross that white line, it's down to the players, and none of them showed any nous or enthusiasm at all today. And fundamentally, it does stick with them, in my opinion.
But why is it so? There's a $1 million question where we always ask us in the stream, like, why is it so? I mean, this is Old Trafford, for fuck's sake. I'm
Yeah.
sorry for swearing, right? You have like 75,000 fans watching, like, and you're putting this performance, you know? What, there is no excuse, and that's what I said. This is the testament of to say, like, when the chips are down, what is your mentality? And then Brailsford sitting there watching, understand, Mr. Performance Management himself. Players has to go in the summer, like Jarle Malmin is saying here. It's going to be a very interesting summer, like, who leaves and who comes in United. And United need two strikers, three midfielders, two defenders, and a right back and left back, and told a new squad. Jarvis, talk to us.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it. We need to shift out a lot of the players. They don't have the quality, and we see it especially when we meet teams like Fulham, when we meet teams like Bournemouth. Teams who play with the mid block, they don't press us. They let us play out from the back, but they have a sting every time they win the ball. They try to transition on us because we are the best transitional team in the Premier League, according to Ten Hag. At least that's what he's trying to do, and they hurt us on the counter. They cut us wide open, especially through the middle. Casemiro looks lost. Looks like his legs are gone. He's on his own. We could see it a couple of times in the first half. They have ball carriers just running at us.
Yeah.
Casemiro, he don't. And he struggles because he has to cover all the width of the field, and it's too much for an old guy. And for me, I would say it comes down to quality. And we talk about shifting out players, but it comes down to quality in a way because we don't have the quality to break down teams who act like this. And I feel like we are going in circles because we have done this. We under Mourinho or under Louis van Gaal, we tried to dominate them. We tried to be the better team, but we didn't have the quality. So we usually lost games 1-0, or we drew 0-0 at Old Trafford when people just set back. And then we had Oli in. He invited them into the game, but we countered them. So we have tried different type of styles, and we don't have enough quality. And when you see players like, for example, Maguire, okay, people rated him today because he scored a goal. He was involved in some key moments, but I don't like what I see because he uses, like, I would say, in average 4 to 5 touches every
Touches,
time he
yeah.
have the
Too
ball.
Yeah, he
slow.
does. He
Too
He
slow
slows
on the
uses,
ball.
down the play
yeah.
Yeah,
completely, and
I know.
the movement stops when a player dilly dally on the ball. That's the thing. So we are just standing there waiting for the ball, and it's very easy for Fulham to defend against a team like that. And eh, and we don't try to mix it up. We don't try to sometimes just shift it long or cross it to the other side and stuff like that. And I'm not sitting here blaming Maguire, but this is some of his weaknesses, and then maybe we should have tried Johnny Evans today. I'm
I
not a big
agree with
fan
you.
of him.
And
Yeah,
I did my assessment in the first half, like it was a snore fest. And I didn't text anyone, but I did my assessment and I said that back four is too slow. There's no service. They're stuck, like, and there was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it was like we were playing under, when De Gea was playing, when we were playing deep and just defending the frailties of Maguire. It's that partnership, McGlindelof. You know what I mean? Slow ferry, like,
Mm,
ferry cross the Mersey. There was no tempo whatsoever. And where was the midfield? So what was the plan? Long balls on Rashford,
Mm.
yeah.
right? Um, their goal though, 1-0. I got to be critical to that one because set piece again. Of course, I heard we sacked the set piece manager, but they did four similar attempts, same combination, and I think it was fourth time it went in, and it allowed Bessie to take two touches and shoot. and Rashford was there just ball watching. Too
Mm.
easy, right? Then when we actually got the one, I mean, I thought that was a dead rubber already. I thought we were going to lose the game, but when we actually
Mm.
got the 1-0, we start kicking on, right? What
Yeah.
the hell happened after that? 1-1. At least we can save a point.
I thought
Yeah.
I thought as soon as we or as soon as we went 1-0 down, I thought we looked like the better team, and I think that's
Yeah,
happened far too often. We should be playing like that for 90 minutes. These players that are professional footballers in any team should be able to run like that with that enthusiasm for 90 minutes, and it doesn't happen enough. We did look like we were coming back into the game. Obviously, we did get the goal, and it looked like we were going to get another. I was saying in a few other chats, is it going to be another one of them last minute wins? And
Mm.
unfortunately, we played a very high line, got caught on the counter, sloppy defending,
yeah,
and particularly I blame Ericsson for that. I think whilst he can orchestrate, when he's good, he orchestrates brilliantly, but when he's bad, he looks so leggy, and it was one of those days today. And probably should have brought the player down. Professional foul. We always talk about
yeah.
those.
They looked very leggy all day. I mean,
Yeah, they did.
he was a snob, you know. I was going like, yes, I was updating my thumbnail. And it's like, oh, Harry saves the day. What
Mhm.
happens? I had a gut feeling when we did a preview. As soon as I saw the team sheet, I saw, oh, Wobie, he's going to score. He's one of their best. I would say that he's always been Fulham's best player. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
fuck. You know,
Yeah, but Mick Pereira was also really
he
good.
was
I think
good.
both
Yeah,
both Iwobi and Pereira was good. They were I would say surgical in a way sometimes when they won the ball, because Reed and Lukic were winning the ball and gave it right away to Iwobi or Pereira, and they did something with it. They drove the ball forward or passed it. So I think, but we were expecting this. We were talking about this before the game. So it should be a big surprise for Ten Hag that this was the game plan for Fulham, and we've seen it before when we played against Fulham. So yeah, maybe we're
but
not
you,
prepared.
Sadek is coming in to say we created very little shots, and I agree with you. Opportunities, and they were taking 40-yard shots.
Mm.
We had
Listen,
21 shots, 9 on target. I know
I
they
can't
weren't great.
remember
I
that.
know they weren't great opportunities. But yeah, probably long range shots, as you say.
Jarvis, it's realistic to say they were better. They were the better team from the first half. They won the first half and the second half. The midfield. I mean, even without Polinia,
Mm.
the
Even
Bostos
without Palinia, yeah.
without
It's
Polinia, yeah,
true. It's true. I'm just checking out the how many passes the different players had, and the touches. The guy with the most touches on our team was Maguire. He had 98 touches on the
Yeah,
ball.
makes
yeah,
sense.
Yeah, and Bruno Fernandes had 86. Rashford
yeah.
has had the 27. He wasn't
Yeah,
even
he.
involved at all in the game. The same as Force, 21 touches. So yeah,
Ma-
tells you
Ma-
without Hoylund, we lack something vital in this team, and
Yeah,
how to play, because Hoylund often gives us the way out. Sometimes we can play it long to Hoylund, and we can shift it up. But now, since they didn't press us, we
yeah,
had the time to play out from the back, but it was
no,
way too
no,
long. So they
no,
just folded back. Yeah.
no Polinia, no Foden. Harry Maguire knocked on the door, rang on the doorbell. He should have nailed that set piece in his head, right?
mm,
You could have
Yeah.
in the match winner today. You can have 2 goals, Harry Maguire. Guys, I know we are down. We are struck with a little bit of how do you say? It's normal. Like I'm a sore loser. But did you see any positive in this game whatsoever that you can bring forward, or is it just doom and gloom?
um, yeah. I think we tried to find the silver lining, tried to be glass half full, and tried to find the positives, as you say. But I thought you mentioned earlier about running Kobe Manu into the ground. I don't believe that will happen. I think you're old enough. You're good enough. You're old enough, and I think
Mm.
he's been superb. To be honest with you, and even today he was trying to orchestrate trying to shield that back four a bit more. And I thought he was okay, not great. Nobody was great, but one of our better players. I really feel like Garnacho's really coming into his own a little bit, and we talked about the sort of lack of experience before, not really making those correct decisions because of the lack of experience and kind of coming on as an impact sub. But I really feel like he's taken it into his stride more so this season in a poor season, and has been good. And I thought he looked threatening. He was our most threatening player in that first half, as I mentioned.
Mm.
I also feel that Maguire actually was all right too. I know he got the winner, but even without the winner, I thought he was okay. I thought he was pretty good.
Mm.
Gets a lot of shit, but I think he's quite important for us at the moment. And unfortunately, he kind of works well, or works better at least, if we're on a bit of a higher line these days. I think when a team like Fulham, that were kind of being quite dogged in the middle, but also sitting back quite a bit, I would say, it makes it difficult and puts that pressure on Maguire. And it's not good. It does slow it down, as Jarvis mentioned earlier, and that's not how we need to capitalize on using him.
Mm.
So yeah, they're my positives, and also actually another major positive is how much we're missing Hoyland. I think he's really come on and shown
Yeah.
just how important and good he is, and I know that's a bit of a bit of a negative there, but I can't wait for him to come back.
True, and that's what Ivo Bosic was saying in an earlier message, to say, like, how we are relying on a 20-year-old to carry us on front. Like, we shouldn't do that. Like, and that's what we say. We have one striker and he's out. We're screwed. And we have 11 games to play in the Premier League. So I am dreadful to go to Anfield. I'm sorry to say, you know, what is the solution, guys? What is the solution?
I think Jarvis mentioned this earlier, but I think when it comes to, I appreciate we've not been performing well against Liverpool last couple of seasons, and City to a certain extent. But I do feel, and I will still believe until we do get hammered potentially, that we will turn up. And when it's a rivalry and when it's a massive game as big as it is, uh, the form and potential and everything goes out the window. And I do think it starts from a fresh a play. And yeah,
Mm.
I'm not looking forward to it. I am a bit concerned about both of those games. However, you have to try and go in as positive as possible. And I think
Yeah.
hopefully that we can go on and get something from that. And also as well, you've got to remember, you go through a run, you get four on the bounce, you can't expect to win them all. You obviously don't want to see the performance that you did.
True.
However, coming out of that and feeling negative like we do is going to be a real kick up the arse. They'll hopefully put a lot into training and we'll see a different team next weekend.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
believe, but whether we do, we will see.
Okay. Villa just pulled away and they just won 4-2 against Nottingham Forest. Spurs have their deferred game. They're playing Chelsea, so Spurs might drop point because they're playing at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
Do you know when that game is going to be played? It was supposed to be played on the 23rd.
Yeah, it was postponed because of the League Cup final.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
what it is. I don't think has it been rescheduled? I don't think it has,
No, it's
yeah.
not scheduled.
Do you think a top four for aspiration is gone, or there's too many games to play left?
I don't. Sorry, Jarvis, you go for this one.
Yeah, I was never very optimistic when it comes to top four. Even though we went on a good run with 5 victories in a row, or 4 in the league, I believe. So I always had the suspicion. I know that our squad isn't good enough, and we could see it today when we miss vital players. This is our level. We are barely at the Fulham level with these players. That's the harsh reality, and we got to live with that. And I give us 2% chance to get to a top. Yeah,
Well,
it's slim, but very
you,
very slim.
you were saying about their squad. I mean, you look at the bench. You look
Hmm.
at their bench in comparison to ours, and you take their bench. That's how
Yeah.
poor our squad is.
Mm.
So again, this is why I don't solely blame Ten Hag. I think his hands are tied massively. Um, I try to be a little bit more positive, and I will send to One Blue in the face that we're gonna do our best until it's mathematically not possible. Spurs have got a really really hard run coming up. I think Villa have been so lethargic. They've picked up a bit of form recently, but they could go and fall off
Mm.
again. I think they will. I do believe that we will pick up more points, and I think that we
Yeah,
will get a few more wins. So until it's impossible, I'm going to say that we can definitely give it a
Yeah.
go. Impossibly.
Big up, Rushmano. You were at the game today, and you say we didn't deserve anything from the game. Poor effort and poor finishing. And I also have the same message from Alien Tenor that was at the game as well. Like, he said, Snorefest,
yeah.
absolutely pissed off. And top four, as I said before, season start, no change. But still, depending on, can we aim for fifth and get Champions League?
We can. It's
Yeah.
possible. It's possible if the UEFA coefficients, or what is called, if we are ranked between the two best countries, England. I think we are. England is in third at the moment as we speak, but I haven't seen the latest after this week's rounds. But it's possible. It's possible. But then we have to depend on all the other teams, City and Arsenal, and we saw Arsenal lose against. Was it Sporting?
Porto.
Porto,
Porto,
yeah.
yeah,
So that's not good for us. But yeah, I mean, it's possible, but we have to be lucky, I think, to get that. It's a lot of ifs
yeah.
and buts. And I just want to mention one thing that I didn't like in the second half when it comes to the game. McTominay came on, and he played as a number 10.
Mm.
And we tried to play in through the middle because Ericsson came in. Okay, the first 10 minutes with Ericsson was dreadful, but
I
after a
would say
while,
so.
he got into the rhythm. He
He
dropped
did.
down in between the center backs, or on the left side for the two center backs, and we're in the build up play. And he tried to make the cut pass, the cutting pass into the middle to the central area. But
Mhm.
every time McTominay was on the ball, he squandered it.
Yeah,
So
you
for
did.
me, it ruined the whole of our attacking rhythm in the
The whole
second
the
half.
rhythm, yeah.
So I think if we are going to blame someone, I'm not blaming him personally. I'm blaming his performance, McTominay. I think it was really bad on the ball every time, and I'm just seeing the stats at the moment, and McTominay's pass success rate was 63%. 63%. That's extremely bad.
Extremely low. No, but
Yeah.
him as a number 10 didn't work at all. Like, as I
No.
said, I
Yeah.
didn't hardly notice him. It was not the game, like, and I agree with, at the end of the day, I'm a realist, and I agree what Rushmano said. We needed these points for so badly today. And
Mhm.
that's what my disappointment is. You know, we can sit here and be angry, and we can wake up tomorrow and we see that this wasn't a golden opportunity that slipped right in front of our eyes, and it was the players and senior players to grab it.
Mm.
I cannot take any positive out of this game, other than give kudos for the youngsters that was giving chance. You know, Collier was on the bench as well, one of the captains for the under 21s. So it's good to see that he actually bled in some youngsters. But God, I want to see, like, Amad Diallo gets in the cup final, in the FA Cup as well.
Yeah, but how did you see Amad Diallo? Did you think he had a
I
good
think
game,
good.
or?
Yeah, the little minutes that we saw, like, he was good. You got to get a little bit of a match form, like, you haven't
Yeah.
played a game for a long time.
Yeah, I
Mm.
think I think with the fact that he hasn't had many minutes, I think with the fact that the whole team was really poor, it's very difficult for one man to come in and make an impact. But I thought he was okay, did what he could. There was a pass I remember from Dallo, I think it was, that Ahmad was on and Dallo kicked it out. He can't do anything about that. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah, I think it was okay.
Yeah,
Forster
yeah,
as
yeah.
well, didn't really see much of him, but he did what he could as well. I think he
What was your fair assessment of Forsen? I mean, I didn't notice him that much. Like, he tried. Was he nervous?
I don't know if he was nervous. I think again, not being within this team and having minutes before it's very difficult. It's a big game. We've all talked about getting 3 points. It makes it very difficult. And I think actually we found ourselves attacking down that left hand side more often, and not really enabling him to try and make an impact on that right. But as I said, whenever he got the ball, he didn't lose it. He didn't really misplace it, and I thought he was okay. Something I would expect from a young player. I rate him very highly. Jarvis and I spoke about him a few
Yeah.
weeks ago in Jarvis Corner. and I think he, hopefully gets more minutes and can
Yeah.
build something. Even going back to Amad Diallo, we spoke about this the other week. One thing I can say about Ten Hag is he has integrated players at the right times. We saw Casemiro out for weeks. He was fit, and then he came on against Man City. And then all of a sudden, this was last season. He was integral and excellent. And you've seen that a few times with players. When Ahmad is ready, and when he is ready to play 90 minutes, Ten Hag will include him at the right point. I'm sure of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, but
Rushman was saying,
Mark, don't you think that he should have gotten a little more minutes in the recent games, because he's been sitting on the bench. He hasn't been chucked on. Maybe he has a minute here and a minute there, but maybe he needs like at least 10, 15 minutes to get into the game.
Yeah,
And he should have gotten those minutes in the last 3 to 4 games,
I,
for me at least.
I do agree. However, if you look back to those four where we have been lucky, sometimes you create your own luck. We
Hmm.
needed to defend the situation. Yeah. And fundamentally, you're not going to bring on a forward player in order to do that. You need to make sure you shore up and not concede a goal. That's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
my
but
opinion
it's
on it.
true. But as a coach or a manager, you need to have at least two thoughts at the same time, and you need to build for the future and think ahead. And you need to
Of
think at
course.
the present. And
But
and for
you've
me,
you've got many
it's
games for
always
that.
like very very compromised every time we think of the present, because we don't score enough goals. We have 2-0 leads, and and they always come back, and we invite all the other teams into the game. So for me, this is a little bit on the team, a little bit on Ten Hag, but I wish that he would have gotten more minutes.
Yeah, and I do agree with you. I think there are going to be plenty more opportunity, and he will build more minutes. If we were 3-1 up, 4-1 up in games, then I'd say absolutely bring it on for half an hour. But it's just not been that way, has it?
No.
no, Rushman was there at the game, said Ahmad did in getting some decent position. He just wasn't found.
Mm.
We don't have the player that who can consistently switch play and
Yeah.
act in accurately. And that's the truth. That is the truth. Okay, so Jarvis.
Yeah. Ericsson switched play a couple of times, but
Yeah.
I saw Diallo had some openings, some good positions, but he didn't get the ball. We couldn't get the ball to him. That was a huge problem, and we always, like when we started, we tried, and Maguire took the ball with him, and he went to his left, and it started to play on Lindelof, and Lindelof played to Garnacho, and it stopped there, or they played it back again. So it was hard to for Diallo to come into the game.
Hmm.
But on another way, maybe we should expect more from Varane in a game like this, to be more involved in the build up, taking charge, seeing what's going on, and not letting Maguire dictate how we play out from the back, because Varane is an experienced player, and maybe he should step up his game in a way. What do you think, Mark?
Who's that? Sorry, cut out there.
Varane, when it comes to playing out from the back, because it was obviously too slow when Maguire tried.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? But I don't think Varane has been particularly great and quick playing out the back either. And I
No.
think that at the moment you can clearly see I do believe he's very concerned about getting another injury. And you can see that in the way that he runs, and he does look quite leggy as well, which doesn't make it easy. Again, Martinez is just fantastic for that. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
he's out.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
this is where I said earlier, you need to build relationships. The only reason why we were so damn good for 25 years is because we had a solid back four. And if you remember back into 2010, 2011, we brought Johnny Evans in, and we were struggling because Rio was out and Vidic was
Mm.
out. All right. And we were still winning games and still, potentially challenging for the title, but we're not in that place yet. And you need to solidify that relationship at the back. It wins you titles. It does if you
Yeah,
have a
true.
good
Yeah,
defensive
but
forward.
we had better backups back then,
Exactly.
when it comes
Exactly.
to, when you think of Stam and Ronnie Johnson, we had always Henning
Of
Berg,
course.
for
Mm.
example, as a
Of
backup,
course.
or with even the more fringe players, as O'Shea and Wes Brown, for example. They were at a high level when they had the chance, and always
Yeah,
performed.
100%.
Yeah, I agree.
Guys, excuse me. We've been rambling on. Please don't forget to. Yeah. like and subscribe. That thumbs up. I know it's not easy to lose. I'm a sore loser, but I can't think straight at the moment. I will probably wake up tomorrow and have a clear picture. Today is another big game, Arsenal Newcastle. That is more exciting right now. Looking at City is up 1-0 against Bournemouth. Arsenal needs to win. It's a tight race there with Liverpool, Arsenal, and City. But I don't know, guys. 11 games to play. I mean, there's winnable games, and I believe that a lot of people are going to drop points as well, right? So who knows? It's football, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, it wasn't the day today. It was a
Oh, no.
bad day at the office.
Hmm.
But just
Our goal difference at the moment, it's
So
36-36.
so poor. You
bad.
don't
And
expect that
this
for
was
a
the
team in
10th.
sixth.
Yeah.
Mm.
Any final words from you, gentlemen, before we go on and have a tea and supper, whatever we're going to have? It was a bad day at the office, but
Was
it's just a game of
Yeah.
football, isn't it?
it
Well,
is? Yeah. If only if it was that easy, Mick.
I'm trying to psych myself up not to.
We try to we get too emotionally invested, don't we?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the end of the world. We can build on this. We need to beat Nottingham Forest in the cup and show up for City. It will be a good game. I think the players will be more focused, more prepared. Maybe they were thinking this was going to be an easy game. Um, you never know when it comes to this team, and we know the usual suspects, as I used to call them. They are not consistent, and this is one of the biggest problems with our club. We don't have consistent players. They vary too much in performance, and especially from the more experienced players, as you mentioned. But with, for example, Bruno today didn't have a good game, and Rashford, for example, his season has been terrible.
Yeah,
Five
horrible.
goals, horrible, horrible. So uh, I don't know what we are going to do with Rashford. Would you guys keep him or sell him
No.
in the summer?
Ah, the longer this goes on, the harder it becomes, I think. And I think if PSG do lose Mbappe, which has pretty much been confirmed now, and they do go for Rashford, which is pretty high on their agenda, I think you'd probably do it, wouldn't you? You offered sort of 70 plus. I have no idea what the amount will be,
Yeah,
but I reckon you
probably.
get leave 70 plus. You'd absolutely take that, and it's a shame. I don't think he should be carrying the pressure and the weight he necessarily does. I think everyone's quick to go at him. He's also, we forget, the whole team's been poor this season. He's also had 4 good games and looked a lot better, but we don't talk about that. We talk about where he's been not performing, and obviously one of those days was today. But yeah, it's difficult.
I don't think anyone is safe. I mean, all the senior player, Bruno needs to be looked at. Everyone needs to be heavily looked at. If we're going to build a new squad, you just have to look at everything. But we all take it to the summer. For me, I don't think Rashford will be. It's hard to say because he's the club's golden boy, right? He's the golden goose. Will they sell him based on this season? Yes, because it's an asset you can sell to reinvest in the squad. So yeah, I would do that, right? Even I would even look at Bruno Fernandes, to be honest.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, it's been fantastic. Sorry, it's late. I'm so grateful for you, Mark, to come in and shed some positivity and light. It's never easy to lose, but I
No.
really appreciate your positive views and try to find something positive in this. Um, so, what's the plan for the rest of the evening? You're going to have some nice supper, tea. Forget about it. What do you do when you lose a game? Like, how do you get this out of your mind?
I tried to switch off a little bit, I think.
Stay off
And
the socials.
yeah, exactly. And I'll probably just I need to make some dinner, as you say, and I've got a few things that I want to watch. So I'll probably do that and forget about it, and then maybe have a bit of realization tomorrow.
Mm.
But no, you're more than welcome. Thank you for having me on again. I hope to come on a little bit more in the future, and yeah, I hope you
You're
guys have
welcome,
a
man.
great evening too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jarvis, you have a show tomorrow, right? No, yeah, I
No,
forget.
tonight I'm going on United Real Therapy with
Oh,
Nuruddin.
that's going to be a slaughter.
Yeah, it's going to be a rant. So 9 o'clock, people tune in, and you will see some some rants from Nuruddin. And he's been saying this all week
Yeah,
long,
he
and
has been right.
talking about it all the way, the inconsistency of the team, and how bad we are. And this is just the confirmation that he needs. So tune in.
Tune in. And then on Monday, you have your Jarvis's Corner. So, yeah, 100%. So, guys, it's never easy to talk to somebody. I personally need to I take my dog out for a walk and I reflect, and then I get a little bit moody and angry with my wife and yell a little bit on her, but then it will just go away. I think, thank God this is Sunday, so you have a day to reflect. If it's this worst thing is if you lose on a Sunday, you have to wake up to go to work
Yeah.
Monday, blues on Monday, right? So anyway, so guys, watch Arsenal to lose to Newcastle. That'd be something. I'm definitely going to tune into that one. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
What do you reckon? Who's going to win there?
Arsenal.
Yeah, I think
Arsenal.
Arsenal. I think
Arsenal.
Newcastle are in some really bad place at the moment. I think
Yeah.
Arsenal are picking up some form. They'll win that. I
Mm.
don't want Newcastle to win. I don't, to be honest, with you, I've got a bit of respect for Arsenal. I don't hate them probably like other fans, but it's I'd much rather see Arsenal beat Newcastle at the moment.
All right. Brilliant. Okay, guys, it's time to close the shop. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. Thank you, everyone that was participating in the voting system as well. This was the second time we run, and unfortunately, I was pissed off. I was angry, so we went really fast because it was just red marker across all of it. Rushmano, I'm off to watch a YouTube compilation of Liverpool greatest defeats. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Good one.
Um, yeah. Anyway, I have nothing more to say, so it's time to chill, relax, have some supper tea, and just forget that this day ever happened. And see you to the next one, guys.
Yep.
Thank you for coming. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Jarvis. And go watch a little bit of Rant later on. I'm definitely going to tune into Mr. Structure Nerdin's channel
9
with
p.m.
some with earmuffs on. It's going to be anyway. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. We're out of here. Cheers, guys.